And we're here with Casey O'Neill of Happy Day Farms. How's it going, Casey?
Another day in paradise.
Great. So today, what I'd like to discuss with you are some of the reasons why people who are considering growing should follow through with that and actually grow. What are some of the benefits of growing? Some of the reasons why somebody, should do it?
I think there's a huge lack of connection with the natural world in our current American paradigm, and I think cannabis really offers a portal back to that for a lot of people, especially, a lot of older folks have some traditional farming connections. A lot of young people are kind of missing that right now, and I think cannabis creates a very effective opportunity for that sort of participation in the natural cycles of, plant growth and water and soil and sun and fertilizer, and it's this process of really learning to engage in those natural cycles that I think is very important. And it's also this question of whether it's food, whether it's medicine, the stuff you grow or raise yourself is always going to be better. And I think a big part of that is the natural energetic interactions that occur in which as you're tending and providing love and good energy to this plant, it is reciprocating and producing something that's going to work uniquely for you. And it's been this interesting topic of dialogue over the last few years in which everybody knows that their weed is as good as it gets. And that's true because for everybody it is, because that plant has produced exactly what that person needed
Sure.
in terms of that medicinal interaction. And so I think it's really an empowering and powerful experience to grow your own medicine and your own food.
So it just sounds very like a fulfilling
Absolutely.
venture to go into.
Absolutely. And in a modern compartmentalized society, it's a fundamentally revolutionary act.
Yeah, personally, I have a lot of concerns with how the cannabis is being produced, to tell you the truth, and you never know exactly what could or could not be in it. Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Either know your farmer or be your farmer. One of the two. It's very, very important. And I think one of the things that we've really been lacking in the current system is consumer demand for clean quality product. And a lot of it, there's kind of this misnomer that, well, like, it's cannabis, so it's grown by hippies, right? And so it's clean. But the unfortunate reality is that there's a lot of dirty medicine out there. And we really, we need, as a producer, I really depend on consumers to start to demand clean quality product, because as a small farmer, I can't really compete on a commodity wholesale price with a huge dirty grow. And so it really is this question of consumers driving the marketplace that I think is very, very important.
Sure. That said, it's not so easy to grow your own cannabis, is it?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. It's farming, and just like any other kind of farming, there's pests, there's diseases that plants can get, and so what I would say is, like, if at first you don't succeed, try again. It's definitely, know your farmer and try to be a farmer. I think it's a cool thing that it's a good thing to do.
So tell me, Casey, as a grower, what gets you most excited?
I really like the time right around the summer solstice. The days are really long. Everything is growing very fast, and everything is very vibrant and green and lush. We haven't quite transitioned out of the spring crops, so there's still a whole lot of like leafy green bounty everywhere, and we haven't really hit the heat yet. And so it's, everything, there's not a whole lot of dry, brown. Mendocino County is very Mediterranean in that things get real hot and dry in the summer, and so you reach a certain point where it's just like, it's so hot. And so summer solstice is like, it's that sort of confluence of getting into the heat, so everything is really boosting, but still like green and soft and nice.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so what I'm hearing is, if you don't know your grower, it's a good idea to grow your own for the enjoyment, for the clean medicine, the quality.
Absolutely.
But maybe it's not so easy, so...
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And, it's definitely that the midpoint there is like, ask, as a consumer, ask your dispensary, ask your provider, you know, where's this coming from? Where, you know, what is the source of this? And really, you know, gently and politely demand to know what the product is, and to know that it's clean, because that's one of the things is consumer demand is what drives change in a marketplace. And so if the consumer demands clean, quality product grown by, for instance, small farms, that's what the marketplace is going to deliver. And there's a lot of really, really incredible small farms out there who are looking for a niche in the marketplace. And without that support from a consumer base, it's going to be much harder for us.
So Casey, are there any other reasons you can think of why somebody should consider growing their own cannabis?
You know, it just creates an incredible feeling in a process. And you know, a big part of why I started growing my own was because it was too expensive to buy. And you know, I think it often starts off at that point, and it just opens up just a whole new world that, you know, I think people have an inkling of, but it's kind of one of those, like, until you get there, you don't really know what you're in for. And it's a pretty magical and special process.
And you know, something that I've recognized is that once people begin to grow, they really get into it.
Totally.
And it just becomes this journey and looking to improve from season to season, whether it be a different technique they've picked up, a different product perhaps they decide to introduce into their regimen. But that quest to improve just seems to, once you start, it's tough to kind of stop, isn't it?
It's the grower's quest.
Right? It's the grower's quest. You've recognized this as well. That was fantastic, Casey. Thank you so much for sharing all the benefits and reasons why people should get into growing their own cannabis.